Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today is the Comptroller of the state of Tennessee, Justin Wilson. Mr. Comptroller, you've done a number of policy-related studies in recent weeks. I want to talk to you about one of them specifically talks about merit pay, or looks at the merit pay. Governor Haslam has tried to go with that more than giving across-the-board raises to employees. You've had some problems, I think, or some concerns about the way the governor's plan is being implemented. What is it about the way he's doing merit pay that perhaps you don't like?
Let's just put this in context. What the governor proposed, and with some changes the General Assembly enacted, was the TEAM Act. And the TEAM Act really fundamentally changed the employer relationship of state employees. We had a civil service system in Tennessee that was really broken. It was really a mess. And many people viewed as the role of government is to give a person a job, not deliver services to the people. The TEAM Act is designed to allow the government to get the state to get the people that they need to have to deliver the services most effectively and most efficiently. And it's a real reform. It changes everything as far as that. Of course, when you have a fundamental change, there's always problems. And one of our job is to identify those problems and to suggest how it could be changed. And we did. The evaluation system we talked about, a variety of other things. But you've got to remember that when you make an omelet, you've got to break an egg. And in this case, I think overall it's been very, very successful and fundamentally changed. But yes, on any major change, the difficulties, and it's our job to point them out. And we'll go back and we'll look to see what extent they've done that, and we'll continue to do so. That's our job.
Another area you've been looking at has been the state's funding formula for K through 12 education, the BEP as it's known. The governor is talking this year about giving the greatest single-year increase we've ever had without a tax increase. But after looking at it, you sort of think at this point perhaps it's not as the program is not as transparent about how where the money actually goes as it needs to be. You also have concerns that, based on inflation, we're not necessarily fully funding it or even close to it at this point.
Well, I have repeatedly said that the BEP is 40% of the state dollar budget. It is real money. And I've repeatedly said that it should be transparent, it should be understandable, and it should be verifiable. At the time and
it's not.
It's not. But they are making, and they have made, substantial progress on the transparency issues. The Department of Education, to their credit, has given a booklet that explains how it works, and it's pretty good. So it's done a lot towards that. But it is extraordinarily complex. And to the point of being understandable is difficult to say that it is.
So therefore we have lawsuits from both small schools and the urban schools saying they're not being treated fairly.
Well, we have 140 school districts in Tennessee. And of that 140 school districts, 140 say they're not getting their fair share. So what is fairness is in the eye of the beholder, and everyone wants more money.
But you do say the state is not coming close to meeting the full need if the BEP was fully funded.
I don't believe I've ever said that, and I certainly don't intend to give that impression. Now, I have said that under different interpretations of the BEP, and everyone interprets the BEP the way they want to interpret it, that it has not met whatever goal they have. And in some cases, it could be as much as $500 million. But that's really not the question. The question is, have we met our constitutional duties?
Another thing that this TV station has given quite a bit of time to is tax increment financing.
Yes.
That's an area you oversee. Ben Hall on News Channel 5 Investigates done quite a few stories about this, raising questions about the fact that when the tax increment money is taken to help fund projects, it might have been thought the money eventually would wind up going back into the general fund as tax dollars, but it doesn't. It's sort of been used as a revolving fund to go back to use in other tax increment financing. Is that something the state needs to look at and change?
We changed it. Last year we had legislation and that prohibits this in the future. I've got to say that,
But not existing projects.
not existing progress, and because you don't want to change what's already been established. I've got to say that Ben Hall did a very good job on this. We had a seminar and a discussion about how this is being done and what can be done, and explain the whole TIF financing. And a surprising number of members of the Metropolitan Council came to that seminar. And I cannot believe that that's not anything but a direct result of Ben Hall's good work.
One other question I want to ask you about one of your studies. It was about the college readiness of Tennessee students.
Yes.
It seems to have improved. The number of students needing remedial education has, in a percentage, has going down the last couple of years. But now we're adding all these new students, particularly into the community college system, taking part in the Tennessee Promise program. Are you concerned we're going to lose the progress that we're made on having college-ready students coming out of our high schools?
Well, we've got a serious problem on college readiness right now without dealing with the Tennessee Promise. If you take this, going to community colleges, and about 3/4 of our students aren't either failed to have adequate preparation on reading or in math or in writing. 3/4 go to the that's a real challenge. The going to the Tennessee Promise is that's another revolutionary view that we believe in Tennessee, and the actions are taken that every student who graduates from high school should have the opportunity to get higher education, and they provided funding mechanisms to provide for that. That will increase the number of students who apply, and we don't know exactly how that's all going to play out. I think you'll see that the percentages will increase if people are not ready. It's a whole area of education that is a real fundamental challenge. And I think we're addressing it, and it's what we need to do in order for Tennessee to have not only the workforce we need to have, but have the educated population.
Justin Wilson's our guest. He's the comptroller of the state of Tennessee. I'd like to continue our conversation with him on the other side of this break.